Four members of the Canadian Parliament were in Kahnawà today to meet with Chief and Council to talk about impending legislation on cannabis. And KTV spoke to the participants.
They were here to provide us information and assist us on, the entry into this industry. But I think there was a bit of a reversal there because they were quite impressed with the advancements that we had made, and what we put up on the board. They were quite, they appreciated very much that we were far advanced than many other places that they had visited.
The conversation today was the beginning in a series of meetings that we are going to have with Indigenous communities across Canada to get their concerns, to understand what the complexities are in a very, very difficult law that isn't unanimous by any stretch of the imagination.
There's something that we agree on in every community, that we have to do a good job of protecting our children. And I spent my whole life protecting children and keeping communities safe. And that's what the people around the table we sat at today have as their priorities. They want to make sure that their children are healthy and safe. They want to protect their communities and keep them safe. And so we begin with that consensus, that agreement. I also wanted to explain to them the government has brought forward new legislation. For years, we have had a criminal prohibition for cannabis, and it's failed our communities. We have the highest rates of cannabis use in the country for our kids, and organized crime controls the illicit production and distribution of this drug and makes billions of dollars in profit every year from it. And so our government is lifting the prohibition to enable us to regulate its production, distribution, and consumption. And that's our intent. We've put in very new legislation that will control its production. And we're working with provinces, territories, and First Nations in the exercise of their jurisdictional authority to control distribution and consumption within their communities.
At this community, it stands out from other communities across this country. One of the things I think our government respects is that we can't template solutions right across the country. In the past governments, previous Liberal governments have had pan-Canadian approaches to dealing with Indigenous communities, First Nation communities, Inuit communities right across this country. Our government realizes we can't do that. We need to come and do the work. We need to work with the communities on their specific issues and make sure that the laws we're making in Ottawa work for the communities, and we work in concert.
The more participation we have by people, regardless of where you stand on this matter, I think the more quality information we can present, and the more quality participation we can have by people to eventually come to a decision where, somewhere down the road they're not going to say, well, you know what, there wasn't any consultation, nothing has happened, to make this clear. So we've got to dispel that, we've got to make it an open, transparent process.